How's my weekend been? It's been good. I finally set up my surgery to get my polyp removed again, because I got polyps removed last year and now I have to get more polyps removed. So I hope so too, because if I got to pay like $5,000 every year to get like polyps removed, that's annoying. But a hysterectomy is like probably like $12,000. So I'm getting a polyp removed from my uterus because it's been interfering with the way I work, because it basically causes like constant spotting, and there's never like a time when I'm not spotting. So it's kind of hard to create content when that's going on. I mean, I had the last one biopsied and it wasn't cancerous, but yeah, it's probably still not good. Plus they just keep growing. Like, I'm not afraid of surgery at all. I mean, the best part is you're like asleep, so you don't feel a thing. So I'm never like too worried about any of that stuff. It's like just very expensive, and that's always annoying, especially when like you paid it and then like a year later you're having to pay it again. It's like, just fix the issue. I mean, of course they can't control if like another one grew back, but I kind of have a feeling that it's not one that grew back. I have a feeling it was one that was missed. So like I said, I'm not too nervous about it. I just hope that they actually fix the problem, because I need to get back to work. I'm just like, it depends. So if they remove the polyps and then in a year I have another one, it means that I guess I'm just very prone to them and they grow a lot. Then I will go get a hysterectomy, because I'm not going to go every year to get polyps removed. That's crazy. Like, and that's what's annoying, because it's not like they can't tell me if like the polyp I have now, if it was missed from the last surgery or if it grew. So it's like, I wish I knew, because if it grew and I'll have polyps growing every year, then I want to have the uterus removed. But I guess, yeah, now I just have to see, I guess. Yeah, the U.S. Health system is so scary. Treating health like a business is so fucked up. Yes, it's incredibly fucked up. I think it's crazy that people allow it. Yeah, the money we spend on wars and corporate welfare could be used to fund free healthcare, for sure. Definitely. How come they can do it everywhere else? Well, but yeah, we're the richest nation in the world and we can't do it here. Oh. And I just don't even understand why there can't be both, right? Like, what's wrong with having a government funded option and then you can have your private option, like you are, like with the Christian schools and things like that. But they just want to get rid of that stuff, and everything is just for profit, everything, no matter what, because that is the end goal of capitalism. That is why. I mean, everyone is in debt. I think that's basically the system here. Everyone is in debt here. If you're just like a middle class person, you are absolutely in debt, unless you like live with your parents for the rest of your life. And, you know, like, because I loved Europe because the transportation system is amazing. Like, it's so great. And, you know, not as great in Romania, but when you go, like, Germany's transportation system is so awesome. UK too. Like, it's always, you can get around super easy and you don't have to wait too long between getting around. It's really great. And but over here, lobbying way back, they lobbied to cut that out because they wanted the gas companies and the oil companies. And I think it's kind of crazy to do that, to lobby to not let something happen for like the general public who pay their taxes, so that people have to buy cars and they have to buy gas and they have to do all of that stuff. Like, it would just be great as an option. I probably would still drive everywhere, but it's still great as an option, right? Not to mention, a lot of people, like, it's rush hour is crazy here. And, you know, maybe not in every state it is, but I kind of think it probably is. But in Florida, rush hour is nuts. And there's always accidents and all this stuff. And I think just if there were public transportation, people would use that and it would free up more of the congestion and all that stuff too. Like, even working from home, which they don't even, like, they forced everybody back into the offices. And now it's just like, it's just crazy. And they don't care. They don't care that there's so much congestion. They don't fix the roads. It's just like ridiculous. How have you began this job, and did you already have much money in the beginning? So, I mean, that's some pretty good questions, because I started, as far as like just like modeling, I started doing that back in like 1998. I was interested in just like alternative modeling and stuff like that just for fun because I would get like all dressed up and I kind of felt like it was like a waste to not take pictures or like make some kind of art with it. So that's what kind of got me into modeling in the first place. And when I moved over to Romania in 2008, I just kept at it because I wasn't working over there. So I would still just take pictures for fun. And eventually I had to start making money. So I started like on a website called Zivity, and they did like adult content on there. It was kind of like Suicide Girls, right? So it was kind of something like that. It wasn't really like a pay site, but it was actually more like, I guess, like what OnlyFans is now. And so, yeah, I would just do sets on there to make money to get by and stuff like that. I went over there, I think, with like $3,000 in my pocket because I worked at Target. I was a night stalker before I moved over there. And yeah, like I just started doing that, and then other opportunities came along. I tried to apply for Suicide Girls. They rejected me because they said I need to tone my look down. So I was like, okay, fuck off. I wasn't really sure I wanted to really do that anyway because they were very like, you can't work on other websites and stuff like that. So it's like, no. So yeah, then I started my own website in like 2013 and did that for a little while. And then in 2016, we moved back to the States and Patreon came along, and I kind of moved over to that because, I mean, on the pay site, I was only making like $500 a month. And I don't know if I actually was even making that. Like they would take like 50% of my earnings on the pay site. So the pay site was only, I guess, bringing in $1,000. I don't know, because they would not really share the earnings. Like there was no transparency on there. So I'm not sure if they were lying or not. But either way, I would walk away from there with like about $500 a month. And obviously, once I moved back to America, I could not live on that. Even in 2016, I wasn't able to live on that. My rent alone was like $1,000 a month in Austin. So luckily, right then, Patreon came along. So I started doing Patreon. And yeah, things kind of worked out with that. Then OnlyFans came along. I also did that. And yeah, it's been pretty good. But now with current bills being passed and current laws, it's not so great. And with social media, it's been really bad too, because they've been really like cracking down on adult content on there, or people who do adult content. So they don't even care like what you're doing off of the platform. If you're an adult creator posting on their platforms, they've basically like flagged your account as borderline, and everything just doesn't get shown to people anymore. What made me start streaming on YouTube is pretty much the current laws, and they're really cracking down on adult content. The age verification stuff is really ruining things. I just foresee with Project 2025, I foresee the future of adult work probably not being very viable. And so I'm trying to do streaming because I just need something else to do when I can't do that. So I'm shadow banned on YouTube. I typed your name into the search bar and couldn't find it. I would not be surprised. I'm not even joking. I'm shadow banned on everything. Everything. All of my Instagram accounts, the number drops daily. Daily, the number. I probably lose 1,000 followers like a week. It's just been dropping daily because I'm not being shown to any new people on all of my accounts. My cosplay account, my backup account. I think my backup account did grow a little bit. I don't know why. Like, I haven't posted on there in like a month. So maybe it lifted the shadow ban because they're like, okay, good, she's dead. So we'll take her off the shadow ban. But yeah, like everything is just completely. I feel like because I've been doing this for like 20 years or some shit, like I'm on some list. Like, I don't know. It's very main character syndrome to feel that way, but it seriously does feel like I'm on some list because I don't understand how everywhere it's like I don't exist. My theory is what I just said. Like, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been on Instagram since like 2010 or something like that. I remember when I made an account on there. But because I've been there for so long, I've had a lot of stuff removed. And so because now they have the AI, the automation, and now they have like built-in trust scores, kind of like how Reddit did with like the karma stuff probably. And yeah, like I've had a lot of stuff removed. So I think my account has a very bad trust score. Newer accounts don't have as much stuff removed. So they have a very good trust score. And of course, when you're like a sexy girl, you're going to reach a bunch of people. If you don't have like the bad trust score hitting your account, you're going to get shown to people because everyone's liking what they're seeing. Whereas I can be posting the same stuff or even more covered up, and it's just not getting pushed out to people because from the second I post it, it's already being suppressed. And that's, I think, how that's working. If it's just on Instagram, because this is what I don't understand. Like, I'm not posting anything that anyone at any age shouldn't be seeing, right? Instagram has it to the point where I can't put a link in a bio. I can't even say to go to this one website or anything like that. Like, I'm completely censored as far as like saying anything like that. So at this point, I'm just like a gothic girl on Instagram, and I have to like cover up. I can't even wear like bikinis on there anymore. So what's the problem? Why is my stuff still considered borderline? Like, I'm not doing anything. Of course, I don't think that underage people should be seeing adult content. It is adult content, so it's not made for people who are not adults. But I think that they're not doing it right because it's being used for much more nefarious reasons and ways. Because I misspoke earlier and I said age verification, and it's ID verification because they are IDing everybody. The government, that is. The government is IDing everybody. Yeah, if you give church and government full power, they won't stop on vaxes, abortions, or tattoos. Every position except missionary would become illegal and punished. It's true. It's true. I read a book called The Constitution, and they go through the entire history, and they would definitely make every position except missionary illegal if they could have their way. And they always, all through history, they've used this protecting the kids, right? And they use it to do all the other fuck shit that they're doing. Like, I don't understand. You know, I thought that this problem was settled many, many years ago. It was settled in 1957 under Butler versus Michigan. And it was settled, the judge Felix Frankfurter settled this, and he said these words: you cannot burn the house down to roast the pig. And what that means is you cannot reduce the entire adult population to read just what children are reading or consuming in this day and age, right? It's just like you're going to reduce all the adults to only access what children are watching. Democrats and Republicans support surveillance capitalism. Yep. And that's why they both suck. I think it's crazy. They're always all out here like trying to thwart any kind of progress in the right direction. And it's like, you are the Democratic Party. Like, you are supposed to not be siding with conservatives. Yeah, it's very infuriating. And it's just like, it's getting worse and worse. Like, it's basically like a uniparty at this point. Like, because I heard that the Democrats are probably going to run on a nationwide ID verification. So it's like, okay, what the fuck? It is uniparty.